Hello everyone and welcome to the next recap video of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 1. As always, in those videos we are going to look at the current state of the tournament. We're going to recap what happened previously, and we're going to take a look at what each player has to do, what each player has to achieve on playday number 5 in order to stay in this tournament. And of course, since there's only one match left to be played for each of the players, the situation has drastically simplified, especially compared to the situation as it was in the previous recap video, where there were tons of possibilities still available in all of the groups. And as I said, that is not the case anymore, but we're going to go through the groups one by one, and we're going to start with Group A, where Nightwolf and Fire are sitting at the top with 9 points each after winning their matches on playday number 4 clearly with 2-0. Deadman and Firestrike in the middle, and Sase and Giacomo both with 3 points at the bottom of the group. However, Sase is already out, so no matter what happens on playday number 5, he's not going to be able to get all the way up to rank 3 in this group anymore. For Giacomo, there's still a chance. The matches are going to be between Deadman and Giacomo, between Fire DE and Firestrike, and between Sase and Nightwolf. Yeah, Firestrike and Fire DE, that's going to be a lot of fun casting, I imagine. And let's start with a Deadman against Giacomo, because it's going to be the first match to be played and casted. And if Deadman wins here, you can clearly see he's going to be up at 9 points. Firestrike is not going to be able to surpass him anymore, and the 3 players that remain in the tournament out of Group A will be determined already, which will be Nightwolf, Fire DE, and Deadman. So there's definitely a great incentive for Deadman to win here. However, if Giacomo wins, he is going to surpass Deadman, and that means Deadman is definitely going to be out already, because Fire DE, Nightwolf, and Giacomo would be ahead of Deadman if he loses to Giacomo. And then it's going to depend on the match between Fire DE and Firestrike. So if Giacomo wins and Fire DE beats Firestrike, Giacomo will be rank 3. If Giacomo wins and Firestrike beats Fire DE, Firestrike will be on rank 3. So yeah, even if Giacomo wins here, he still has to hope for Fire to give it his all against Firestrike. But there's also a great incentive for Fire to give it his all against Firestrike, because if he wins, he's putting pressure on Nightwolf, and then Nightwolf is going to have to win the Night Death Mirror against Sase as well in order to stay up at his first rank and to go to the finals immediately without having to go through the playoffs. On the other hand, if Fire loses, then he could still drop behind Deadman if he ends up beating Giacomo. So Fire DE, also for him there is something on the line. He can still make it up to rank 1. He can still drop down to rank 3 and then statistically face a stronger opponent in the playoffs, because then he would face a player from a different group that ends up on rank 2 if he drops down to rank 3. So that's the situation in Group A. Still decent number of possible outcomes, but definitely more limited than it was previously. So moving on to Group B, things are a lot simpler here, because on the one hand, Spell is out already. There's only 2 matches left to be played here, and Creo is definitely going to end up on rank 1. We're going to see no more games of him until the finals. And he'd usually play against Spell on playday number 5, but Spell is out of the tournament, and therefore Creo has finished his group stage already. The 2 matches that are going to be played on playday number 5 here are Hot against Humanic first, and then Sunshine against Ciara. And of the Hot against Humanic best of 3, there's only one replay available, unfortunately. So that's all I'm going to be able to provide out of that. So the first map, as I said, is going to be between Hot and Humanic, and Humanic is out of the tournament already as well. So even if he wins this one 2-0, there's no way that he's going to end up on rank 3 of this group anymore. So Hot definitely, even though there's nothing on the line for Humanic, should better play somewhat seriously, because he definitely needs to win this one. If he does, then he's definitely going to end up advancing, and it's going to depend on the game between Sunshine and Ciara, who will end up advancing with him, because if Hot wins and Sunshine beats Ciara with 2-0, both of them would have, both Ciara and Sunshine would have 6 points, 5-5 maps, and then the direct comparison would benefit Sunshine. If Hot wins and Ciara is just able to win one map against Sunshine, he'd already be in the top 3. However, if Hot loses, that means that Ciara is definitely going to advance, and then the match between Ciara and Sunshine would decide who alongside Ciara would go into the top 3 of that group. And if Ciara did beat Sunshine after Hot lost, or after Hot loses, then Hot would still advance. But if Sunshine beat Ciara after Hot lost to Humanic, then it would depend on oh, never mind, then it would of course benefit Sunshine, as he would be up to 6 points and Hot would still be down to 3 points. And then Sunshine and Ciara would end up going into the playoff stage of the tournament. So that's all there is to say about Group B. 2 matches to be played, 2 important matches for 3 out of the 4 players playing. And moving on to Group C. As you can see, once again, something has changed here. Naps is out of the tournament because he has received some additional penalty points, which were, in the end, too many for him to remain in the tournament. In his game against DD8, I believe he showed up late and therefore he received a few penalty points, and afterwards he was disqualified from the tournament, so his matches are all nullified, and the game between him and Todd has never been played because it was postponed, because Todd in the first place was out of the tournament for a while voluntarily, but he came back, and Naps was disqualified because before they ended up playing their best of 3. So that means that the tournament is finished for Proteus. He doesn't have to play his game against Naps anymore on play number 5. And there are 4 players left in this group, and there's still everything possible for all of them. Well, DD8 isn't going to drop out. That's all we know for sure. The matches are going to be DD8 against Todd first and Grubby against Electak afterwards. And as you can see, Todd is the one on the bottom of the group with 3 points only. So if he loses to DD8, he's going to be out. DD8 is going to be first. And the match between Electak and Grubby is going to decide who's finishing the group on rank 2 and who finishes the group on rank 3. So that's the simple part. However, if Todd wins with 2-0, he's going to be in the top 3 for sure. And the loser of Grubby and Electak is going to drop out of the tournament, whereas Electak could even go up on rank 1 if Todd beats DD8, and if Electak beats Grubby, then depending on the map score, even Electak could end up on rank 1. However, the totally crazy scenario is if Todd beats Electak, if Todd beats DD8 with 2-1 and Grubby beats, hold on, once again, sorry. If Todd beats DD8 with 2-1 and Grubby beats Electak with 2-1, then Todd is going to be up at 6 points, score 6-5. Electak is going to be still at 6 points, score 6-5, and Grubby is going to be up at 9 points, which means Todd would still be out, because in the direct comparison against Ilektak here on Playday 2, as you can see, he lost with 2-1. So if Todd wins 2-0, he's in. If he loses, he's out. If he wins 2-1 against Ilektak, then he's still going to have to hope that Grubby against Ilektak doesn't end with the exact map score of 2-1. So that's all there is to say about Group C. And we have one more to go, which is Group D, in which DD8 has so far played a flawless tournament, only lost one map, and he's going to therefore go to the finals for sure. Whereas Miu, Insomnia, Titan and HG all are sitting at 6 points in the middle of the group. Everything's still possible here. Thomas G out of the tournament already, hasn't won a map so far. Definitely a tournament before his prime. And the matches we're going to see here on Playday number 5 are going to be Miu against Titan, Lily C against Insomnia, and HG against Thomas G. We're sadly not going to see, because there are no replays available for that one anymore. And Miu against Titan, as I said, is going to be the first match. And basically that's going to be more or less of a deciding game of who ends up in the top 3. If Miu beats Titan, then he's going to be on rank 2 most likely, unless he wins against Titan with 2-1, and Insomnia somehow ends up beating Lily C with 2-0. And Titan, if he loses, is going to be out no matter what. On the other hand, if Titan wins, then Titan is going to be in the top 3 for sure, whereas Miu would have to hope for Lily C to beat Insomnia with at least the same map score, with that Titan beat Miu, and on top of that Thomas G would have to beat HG in order for Miu to still advance after losing to Titan. So if that exact scenario happens, Titan, Miu and Lily C would be the top 3 of Group D. Then again, for Insomnia, of course, it's a super important match against Lily C as well, which will be the second match to be played in this 5th playday of Group D. And if Insomnia beats Lily C, he's going to advance no matter what. And HG, I haven't talked about him yet, he'd be out if Insomnia beats Lily C, because look at it from HG's point of view. He is not going to be able to surpass both Titan and Miu. One of them is going to win, Titan or Miu, and the winner of those is going to end up in front of HG. So the only player that HG needs to look at is Insomnia, because that's the one he needs to surpass. So if Insomnia wins against Lily C, HG is definitely going to be out. However, if Insomnia loses to Lily C, then he needs to hope for... So if he loses with 0-2, Insomnia that is, then he needs to hope for Miu to beat Titan and for Thomas G to beat HG. Then Insomnia, Miu and Lily C could move on. And if Insomnia ends up losing with 1-2 against Lily C, then there's also the chance of Titan beating Miu with 2-0, because then Insomnia would be ahead of Miu, and Thomas G beating HG. But to stay realistic, I think Insomnia should beat Lily C if he really wants to maintain his chances to stay in the tournament. So yeah, to keep it short, most likely the winner of Miu against Titan is going to move on. Insomnia is most likely only going to move on if he beats Lily C, and HG has to beat Thomas G, and he has to hope for Lily C to beat Insomnia if he wants to advance into the playoffs. So that's all there is to say for all of the groups. I think lots of interesting scenarios here, especially the one in Group C. If Todd actually ends up beating DD8 with 2-1, that'd be quite an interesting scenario. One last time, I'd like to hear your predictions. Who do you think is going to end up on the first ranks of the groups? I guess two of them aren't too hard to predict. Who's going to end up on the second and third ones, and who's going to drop out? I hope you're looking forward to the final play day. I guess this video has been going on for a little bit longer than I anticipated. But yeah, if you stuck through it with me, then thanks for watching. As always, give your predictions, give the thumbs up, comment what you think about the tournament, what's on your mind, basically anything you want. And yeah, I hope I see you soon. Bye.